Employment gaps aren't necessarily the resume killer that they used to be. During the pandemic, millions of workers found themselves forced out of the workforce. So, if you have an employment gap on your resume, you'll need to present it carefully. With some planning, you can help hiring managers see the whole of your career path, not just the zigs and zags. Keep watching to learn everything you need to know about handling employment gaps on your resume. This video is sponsored by ZipRecruiter. If you're looking for a job, ZipRecruiter can help. ZipRecruiter makes it easy to apply for jobs with a single click. You can also upload your resume to their resume database so that your resume is searchable for the thousands of recruiters and employers who use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter is also free for job seekers. Click the link in the description below to get started with ZipRecruiter today. What are employment gaps? Employment gaps on resumes are significant breaks in employment. These gaps may last months or years. Typically, people have employment gaps because they took time off to care for children or family members, go back to school, or travel for extended periods. Workers may also experience involuntary employment gaps during economic downturns. During the Great Recession from 2007 to 2009, the number of long term unemployed more than quadrupled. Now, let's dive in on how to address employment gaps on your resume. First things first, always tell the truth on your resume, cover letters, and job applications. Lying on resumes is common, but so is getting caught. First, you can omit dates. If you've been out of work for a few months, you can easily manage that gap by leaving off the full dates of your employment. For example, let's say that you got laid off in January of 2021, but didn't land another job until August of that year. Your employment dates would look something like this. Just be aware that you may be asked to share your full work history at some point during the interviews. Have a plan for how you'll talk about resume gaps, even if it doesn't come up until later in the interview process. Another option is choosing a different resume format. The traditional resume format is chronological, focusing on your work history and educational background. Typically, you list your most recent work first, followed by each previous job. This is a fine format to use if you're trying to highlight a lot of relevant work, but it's less than helpful if you need to downplay an employment gap. But the chronological resume isn't the only game in town. You can also choose a functional resume format, which focuses on your skills and qualifications, or a combination resume, which focuses on skills and work history. Use a resume profile or summary statement. Profiles and summaries tend to be longer, say 2 to 3 sentences, instead of a single line, more comprehensive, and contain more keywords from the job listing. Using a summary statement helps you avoid getting caught in the filter by applicant tracking systems. It also highlights your experience and skills in a way that hooks the hiring manager's attention and makes them want to learn more. Include an explanation. Depending on the company culture at the employer you're targeting, you might consider being upfront about your employment gap. This can be risky, but it also allows you to share what you've learned during your time away. For example, if you've volunteered, completed a certification, or taken classes during your career break, you can highlight that in your resume. Even if you're being entirely dedicated to the reason for your break, consider what you've learned during them. Don't sell yourself short. Your life experiences is also valuable. Here are some common reasons for employment gaps. Caregiving responsibilities, such as taking care of minor children, aging parents and grandparents, and other family members. Parental leave related to the birth or adoption of a child. Illness, including chronic conditions and short-term disability. Education, including finishing a degree, completing a certification, or participating in a coding bootcamp. Or job termination or layoff. As employment gaps become more common, it will be easier to explain them to hiring managers. Be confident, transparent, and positive, and you'll be well on your way to landing your next role and closing the gap. If you're ready to start looking for your dream job, you can now search and apply for jobs for free on ZipRecruiter. Click the link in the description below to get started today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this.